Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's live stream where it's nothing but random New York Jets talk. Um, I was thinking of a title when I was thinking of doing this live stream. I was thinking of a title, but I said, you know what? Let me just write down random New York Jets talk. Um, I heard that a green and white scrimmage was very entertaining today, which is a good thing. Both the defense and the offense got better of each other from in certain aspects of the scrimmage, which is a good thing because that, I say iron sharpens iron. We need that because if it was constantly defense destroying the offense or the offense constantly destroying the defense, we would have problems. But and the biggest headline is that Aaron Rodgers looks really good in training camp, and which to me should not be a surprise to anybody. This is Aaron Rodgers, a guy that keeps himself in phenomenal physical condition, keeps himself healthy, and all that. Last year was kind of really mostly our fault for our inability to protect Aaron Rodgers. I mean, our offensive line was dog shit last year. We were all so hyped of going to the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl, and yet we failed to realize about our offensive line, and it ended up really destroying our season. Other than Nathaniel Hackett and his inability to coach up an offensive game plan for another quarterback not named Aaron Rodgers, so it was really, but this is the first. This is really where Aaron Rodgers. He's here in training camp. He's here in OTAs, and you know, um, this is where Aaron Rodgers. I think he's gonna have a comeback player of the year type of a season. Um, pardon me, folks. I think this is a year where Aaron Rodgers kind of reminds us, especially this particular generation, of how great he is. This is the guy that won 10 plus playoff games for the Packers that led them to, I think, four NFC Conference championships appearances, a Super Bowl title in 2010, four regulars put up four MVP caliber seasons, threw for the most touchdowns of any Green Bay Packers quarterback in history. I mean, this guy, granted, he did benefit from the modern day NFL rules where you can't touch a receiver beyond 5 yards. He still was able to read defense. He was still able to read and process what the defense was doing and pick them apart piece by piece throughout the course of his legendary and iconic career. I mean, this guy is special. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is widely regarded as not only one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but as probably the most gifted, talented quarterback and passer in NFL history, more so than the likes of Dan Marino and Peyton Manning, for instance. So, Tom Brady, I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers. Why did I mention Tom Brady? I'm so sorry about that, everybody. But Aaron Rodgers, I think he still has quite a few years left in the tank. I don't think, obviously his final year in Green Bay was not very good, unfortunately. It wasn't terrible, but at the same time, it wasn't great according to his standards. But he still put up respectable numbers. Um, he still, was able to put Green Bay in a position to make the playoffs. Unfortunately, they got their butts kicked. Well, I wouldn't say they got their butts kicked, but they lost to the Detroit Lions. Um, I'm sorry, everybody. Um, but basically, um, that I'm sorry. Um, I think Aaron Rodgers is poised to have an a very good to great season. I'm not necessarily expecting him to have an MVP caliber season, but I expect him to play at a high level. I expect him to be one of the better, if not one of the best quarterbacks, not only in the AFC conference, but in the entire NFL, like he has showcased to be throughout his entire stint with the Green Bay Packers. Um, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's such a special player that the fact that he looks really good in training against one of the most, and even though he's practicing against them, he's practicing against them. The fact that he still looks fantastic against one of the best defensive units in the NFL that the New York Jets have looks impressive to me. Not only looks impressive to me, but also doesn't really shock me as much as you probably think. I think Aaron Rodgers is poised to have a breakout, to have a really good season. Plus, people forget that Aaron Rodgers, during his time with Green Bay, as always, was blessed with good weapons. No, other than Devontae Adams, he had Robert Tonyan, who was good for a few years, Jermichael Finley, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver. Who else? Randall Cobb had some great years for the Packers. Uh, um, um, I mean, what the hell? We're just doing a live stream. Um, but um, I mean, you have Brees Hall, you have Braylon Allen, you have Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson, Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Ruckert, who I think is going to get a lot more playing time this season, considering how much of a disappointment CJ Uzama was last year. I mean, I was disappointed with him too, trust me. Um, but as I said, he was always had good weapons. I mean, the running backs, he had Ryan Grant for a few years, Eddie Lacy for a couple. Then, of course, he had Aaron Jones, who's now with the Minnesota Vikings. So, and plus, did have some pretty solid offensive lines with the Packers. So, hopefully this year, the offensive line that he has this year is really good. If this offensive line stay healthy and they play well together as a unit, it has the potential to be a top 15, top 10 unit in the National Football League. And that to me matters. So, sorry about that, Richie. Um, but I got 5 people watching. But yeah, I'm expecting a lot of big things from Aaron Rodgers this year. I expect Jeremy Ruckert to have more playing time. He did show flashes of being a good tight end last year, especially with Zach Wilson at quarterback. I mean, that catch he made a couple of really good catches against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football last year, which were really impressive. So the guy's got skills. So I can't call him a bust, like some dumbasses want to call him. But um, but Yeah, the Rock. You see who's in the chat. Rocket Rogers was great. I love random Jets talk. I live with it. Jets mess. What's up? I, another. I'm sorry. I'm watching a little bit of Richie's stream, but yeah, I'm expecting another player. I'm expecting to have a big year. He was very good last year, and that is Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson, obviously his rookie year, he didn't get a whole lot of playing time, but he showed flashes his rookie year, but didn't really do a whole lot other than that. This past season in 2023, he was incredible. 7.5 sacks, a couple of forced fumbles, an interception returned for a touchdown, which happened against the Cleveland Browns on Thursday Night Football against Joe Flacco and the Browns. He was really damn good. Um, Jermaine Johnson. He was one of our best defensive players last year. I think he's going to have another tremendous season this year. I really, truly do. I think he's going to be really something special. I know a lot of Jet fans are upset we lost Bryce Up, but Hassan Reddick, even though he's holding out, which stinks, um, he's been the more developed player. He's been the more developed product. Bryce have only had one full season of production. So it is what it is. I may continue one more random Jitch talk either later tonight or sometime tomorrow. I'll let you guys know that. Anyways, we're gonna watch the rest of Richie's stream. Peace out.